see. Just in a few minutes. Awesome. I see our guest speaker is ready. Let me just turn this off real quickly. Give me a sec, guys. Jeremy, how are you? Jeremy, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly, bro. How are you? How have you been?
I'm blessed. We are just enjoying the beautiful breeze of Garga Resort Beach Hotel.
That's amazing. I'm loving the room you guys give.
Sunday.
Yeah.
And I can see a lot of people are coming on. I saw some people from South Africa.
I see Kevin. Kevin, what's up? Alex also just joined. Guys, tell me where you're connecting from. We're just about to begin our interview real quickly.
Before we begin, we can invite friends. Invite some friends. We want to share some educative, insightful, powerful stuff with our millennials. We are millennials and we are the future, right? There is a transition going on in our country, in our continent, and even people globally. So we have to take that responsibility to understand that we are the future. And it should not be just about you, because I don't believe in personal success. Because when you die, when you have achieved just personal success, nobody really cares about you. You know why we remember Jesus? You know why we remember Muhammad for the Muslims? It's because they didn't leave buildings. It's the impact they had on people. So if you want to get your life impacted, or you want to impact others, take the opportunity, share this on every platform you can get to. Share it out. All right? Because knowledge is the new money, actually. We are in the information era. What you know and what you don't know makes all the difference. So they need to know something. We call it specialized knowledge. They need to know what kind of knowledge do the rich know? Do they have their hands on that other people don't have their hands on? And that makes the difference in the lifestyles we see, right? Let's invite people. I would like us to begin because I would like to respect time. I'd like us to begin in the next 1 minute. Allan, you can give us some soft music as we give them a minute, then we start. Others will join. Time is time.
Guys, share this on your lives. Share it in your statuses. We are going live. A screenshot here. Awesome. I think let's begin. Jeremy, are you here?
I'm here.
Awesome. So guys, for you guys who are actually joining in, if you're very new to my channel, just type in the box new. If you're actually seeing this on live, just type in L. And if you're seeing this on repeat, definitely type in R, yeah? So my name is Allan Butali. I'm a CEO of Fledged Advertising. I'm also a millennial business coach. And I'm actually doing a series of these interviews for almost every entrepreneur out there to actually get some value. You know, one thing that I've actually learned is to always stay in student mode, because you never know. The top is not the pinnacle, you know. Sometimes your level of success is just another person's starting point of success, you know. So for me, I've actually decided that for now, till the next 3 years, almost every single week I'm going to be introducing a new entrepreneur who I actually look up to, and so that we can actually learn on different topics. Yeah, some of these topics are going to be about business, some of them about mindset, some of about developing your people skills and your leadership, definitely. So I just wanted to actually invite this brother of mine, because this gentleman, literally, when I actually got to know him, we've been friends for over now 15 years, coming to 20, 15 to 20 years right now. And I've actually watched him grow from a boy to a man. And most importantly, he has actually grown from being just a man, but to being actually a man who actually has 100% responsibility for his actions, and also is taking things to a whole new level, you know. He's an author. He's actually currently the managing director of Garuga Resort Beach Hotel, and he's also a very big entrepreneur all the way from Malaysia, and actually just came back recently into Uganda. So definitely we're going to learn so much. And today's topic is actually very simple. You know, Jeremy is actually one of the few people that I know who are really good at sales, you know, who are really good at sales. And he's you could literally say he's a natural born salesman, you know. So I felt the need that he would actually just share about how to sell anything to anyone, you know, regardless of any industry you're actually connecting from, or where you actually, whatever you're actually doing, we are all in sales in one way or the other, you know. And definitely we'll be touching more into those subjects, but definitely in the comments, just drop where you're actually connecting from. And Jeremy, are you ready?
I'm very, very ready.
Awesome, awesome. So my first question is, who's Jim Jeremy Mukasa?
First of all, I'll start with this. You know, I have a virtual mentor. A virtual mentor is called Grant Cardone, you know. And there's something that he says that I've decided to also live by. At some point, you have to create your own signature. But he says, success is your duty, responsibility, and obligation. Let's start with that. Success is your duty, responsibility, and obligation. All right? Even during a quarantine, success is still your duty. So my name is Jim Jeremy Mukasa Wealth. I don't normally use the wealth, but actually that should be the first. You can take everything away. I just need the wealth. All right. So I'm a 25-year-old Christian entrepreneur, CEO and founder of Ignite Prime Consultants, managing director of Garuga Resort Beach Hotel and Marahaba Apartment Hotels. And I'm a millennial business coach, life and mindset coach, public and motivational speaker, professional salesman, author of the book, The Journey of Purpose. So that's a little about who I am. Many know me as the billionaire CEO. Okay, and billionaire is not about making just $1 billion, but about the people I want to reach out to. All right, I want to reach out to 1 billion people. That's in terms of impact. How much impact can we get? There are 8 billion people. If you're reaching 1,000 people, you're still doing nothing. All right. So of course you can feel me. Many know me as the guy that has a lot of energy. I have a lot of energy. Many know me as a guy that is very persistent. In Luganda, guy alemedako. Right? That means the guy does not quit. The guy is not going to stop, whatever it takes. Others know me as the guy that's very, very ambitious. Everybody that comes around me, they know that I'm thinking a million times big. You know, I'm talking private jets. You know, some know me as a smooth talker. Then many know me as a guy that has been consistent with his dreams for the last 6 years without, you know, backing out. All right. So that is a little about me.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I like billionaire CEO. That's definitely something that I also aspire to be. I definitely am going to become a billionaire. So my other question would be, tell us about your journey as an entrepreneur.
My journey as an entrepreneur. Okay, it's funny, but first of all, I'm an accident entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship for me was simply a solution to my problems. I grew up in 2 places where my mother was actually struggling financially, but I grew up with my father, who also started from the corporate world and ventured into business. So I grew up with my father most of the time. So growing up with my father, I went to only visit my mother only in the holidays. All right. So coming to my father's side where I could have some of the good things of life. You have the water in the house, everything in the house, fully furnished house, TV at home. Then go to my mother's side where actually we had to fetch water from out. We had to go to the toilets outside. But the good thing about me is I've been a very flexible person. So I grew up seeing two mindsets. It's more like I grew up in the hood, and I also grew up in the rich neighborhood. Okay, so I was very flexible, and that combination is actually what makes you very dangerous. Actually, a guy that's growing up from the other side, he may not be easy to adapt when you bring him to this environment. So I grew up when I can know we have today, and I can go without food today, and I'm okay. All right. So entrepreneurship, I started the first time I remember doing business was actually selling Grab in high school. So I started from Makerere College. I went to Maryland High School. Then I went to Vienna. That's where I did my secondary school. And in Vienna, nobody was actually selling Grab, but Vienna was an international school, is an international school for those who know Vienna. So yeah. I introduced the concept of selling Grab in Vienna. So I reached a point whereby the whole term, I could not use my pocket money at all, because I was simply selling Grab, all right? And I grew up with my father most of the time, like I said. So he's been an entrepreneur for the longest time. So from about 2012 to 2016, our house was always full of passion fruits, pawpaws, oranges, chili, to mention but a few, right? So growing up in a house with a hustler and having all those things in a house, I was in an entrepreneurship class every day. I remember at some point actually asking my father for money to go and buy some groceries at home. The guy told me, look around this house. There's passion fruit everywhere. There are pawpaws everywhere. Get some pawpaws, get some passion fruit, go sell these things. Then whatever money you get from there, you can actually go and do grocery shopping. So my entrepreneurship mindset, my hustling mindset had to actually come out of necessity. It was out of necessity. Okay, it was not hustling or entrepreneurship for the luxuries of life. But most of all, my number one motivating factor, we all have primary motivating factors, of course, is my mother. You know, there's growing up when you don't have, and both parents don't have. Then there's growing up when the father has and maybe your mother doesn't have because they are not together. And then you can be able to experience the good life. But that feeling of knowing that your mother can't experience what you're experiencing is what pushes me, fires me more than anything else. And I know you guys watching also have your primary motivating factors. So that is how I started out my journey as an entrepreneur. It was not intentional, it was accidental. And guess what? When you start to see that you can actually get daily incomes, weekly incomes, it changes your mindset from job. So that's how I became an entrepreneur.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me about some businesses you started, you know, initially. Like, how was the initial phase of actually you being an entrepreneur?
Okay, so you know, I normally tell people there's actually being a structural entrepreneur, then there's just being a hustler. You don't get rich by just pure hustle. Like, of course, you have to grind it out, but you don't get rich by just hustling. Hustling, I take it more like you're trying to make ends meet. Okay, you can't have the wealth or riches in the same conversation with trying to make ends meet. Oh, I'm hustling. You know, that kind of mindset. So I went to Malaysia in 2013 for university. Okay, and people who have gone all over the world for university as students, you'll understand that in different countries, some countries you are allowed to work. In some countries, you're not allowed to work. In Malaysia, as a student, you're not allowed to work. All right. In fact, if they find you working, they may terminate your visa. And from that point, my father was sending me money. I won't talk like he wasn't, but it was not enough. Okay. And I had my personal things that I needed to do. And I had to make a choice between succumbing to being an average student or actually being a student with a difference. So throughout my university life, I was actually branded the student with a difference. I got to a point when I was actually coming in late to class, but I was dressed in a suit. The lecturer couldn't ask me where I was coming from. I got to that point when they knew this guy is coming from a gig right now. You see, because I had discovered what I wanted to do even straight out of university. So my first business was actually in 2014. In 2014, I actually started a fast food business and it was operational for 1 month, and it failed after 1 month. Now, of course, some of the reasons it failed, first of all, the biggest mistake I made is making my branch buddies my business partners. Never, ever do that. Your friends may be good for branch, but they may not be good for your business. All right. Number two, I was not mentally ready to give my 100%. Like the whole idea that, oh, at this age, I have started my own business. That idea alone made me feel like I was above most people my age. All right. Yeah. So that made me complacent. So I was sold with the idea of you have a business, and I didn't care whether it was profiting or it wasn't profiting. I was already comfortable with the idea that I have a business. But I didn't understand that having a business is going to take 100% effort each and every single day. So I was not mentally ready to give my 100%. So it failed because of me as well. Then poor negotiation skills. That's why I decided to become good at sales, because I didn't know how to negotiate. First time I negotiated with the guy that I was paying him more money than we were earning the whole month. And then the business failed, and the guy still continued to demand me his money. So the other thing is I was weak-skinned, and I didn't know how to deal with adversity. I think many of us have been programmed on how to handle successes when they come, but many of us have not been programmed on how to handle adversity and deal with challenges when they come. So I did not know how to deal with adversity. All right. So in 2015, I happened to join a network marketing company, an e-commerce platform that deals in e-learning. And that is where I evolved as a person. All right. The wealthy mindset, the power of personal development. That's when I became.
Guys, give him a few. He's still reconnecting, but I hope you guys are getting some value. He's still reconnecting. Let me just text him. Okay. All right. I see a question. So guys, you can drop your questions in the chat. I see one person with a question here. Okay. That's a very good question. That's a very good question, Benji. I see that question. Phyllis, what's up? I see you as well. So let's see if he's actually back on. His network just cut.
Hello, Allan.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can also see you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all the people that have stayed on regardless. All right. So we were still having a discussion. Sorry about the network. But I was saying in 2015, I joined a network marketing company, an e-commerce platform that deals in e-learning. And I went there simply because I was always looking for a way on how can I make an extra income. But the issue is I was thinking too small. And I'll tell you right now that the biggest issue most entrepreneurs have is thinking too small. Everybody that thinks small, life is going to punish you severely in one way or another for thinking small. Because you think small, you look near, right? When you think big, you start to think long term. People who think small, they think short term. So I was thinking short term as much as I had the entrepreneurial mindset until I joined the network marketing company. And the coaches and mentors that I had, these were guys making millions of dollars, and they actually helped me acquire what I call the wealthy mindset. They taught me the importance of personal development. Your business development is directly proportional to your personal development. Your business is not going to grow any bigger than your personal growth. Then they taught me the idea of sales. They taught me most importantly on how to handle objections, right? So that was a little bit about the question you asked.
Yeah. So to you, what's your number one skill in business? Like, what's the number one skill every person should actually have in business?
Okay, the number one skill every person needs to have in business, first of all, sales and marketing. Sales and marketing. Now, marketing deals with creating awareness to a client, or basically to create awareness to get in front of the client. Then now sales takes over that. Right now, sales deals with the client, you being in front of the client and actually getting them to, you know, make a purchase. That's the pull and push factor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are some, let me give people some examples of sales, because sales being the number one skill of business, there are some examples of sales. And what people don't understand is that we're actually selling every day of our lives. Every day of our lives we are selling. The guy that wants to go on a date with the girl of his dreams, you need to sell her why she should go on a date with you. She's just not going to show up. You need to give a reason. The guy that's trying to get the girl to marry him, you need to sell her why you're the one out of the many that she should actually spend the rest of her life with. All right, the guy who is writing a CV, what are you guys doing in your CV? You're selling yourself. You're selling your qualities. You're selling where you've worked. You're selling, you come even up with the recommendations from the managers of where you've been. You're trying to sell so that you can get the position. We are selling every day when we go to the market. Nakasero market, wherever you're going, you're bargaining each and every single day so that you can get your way. You're selling consciously or subconsciously, knowing or unknowingly every single day. For business owners, companies, you're in a company, you're bidding for a contract, okay? You're going to have to sell in that bid as to why you should get the contract and not the other guys. So sales, for me particularly, is the number one skill every business owner should know. Why? Because you can hire a good financial advisor, you can hire an accountant, you may even hire a marketing guy. But you need to have information about all this. It doesn't mean that you don't need to have information about all this. You need to have an idea of what's going on, and then you can oversee from time to time, check on the reports. But sales, how can you lead your sales team? How are you going to set for them SOPs, KPIs, when you yourself are not that good? So you need to become that good so that you can introduce them to the level that is actually normal in your organization and what should not be done. Otherwise, if you're not that good, you're not going anywhere. Everything starts with sales. You need to get good at that.
Yeah. You know, there's this notion I've had, you know, we don't sell, we share, you know. And I feel it comes from the point that most people don't like to sell. And maybe I can actually ask the question is, why do most people, actually, no, before I go there, yeah, do you actually believe they're natural born salesmen?
Yes, I do, but that is as a talent, not as a skill. Okay, you may have a talent, but it is not a skill. Okay, now a skill is developed through years of practice. So you may be talented at playing soccer, but if you don't practice, you'll never become world class. So I believe you can be born a natural salesperson. The guy is a smooth talker, that is sales. The guy is persuasive, that is sales. Okay, but he may be a good smooth talker, but he doesn't really know how to navigate around that. Now that's when the coaching and training comes in for us to get into that world-class level.
Yeah. Okay. So why do you think most people don't actually become good salespeople?
Most people don't become good salespeople. First of all, sales is actually seen as socially undesirable. It is seen as, it is not considered a career option. Have you noticed most people don't want to put sales on their business card? They feel like if you put sales, especially in our country, in our continent, it looks like the guy failed to get a job and now he's trying to make some deals here and there, trying to crack something here and there. He's trying to sell some stuff here and there, right? So it's socially undesirable. Second of all, limiting beliefs. Okay, how are you going to sell something when you don't even believe in you? You don't believe you're deserving of the money the prospect is going to pay. You don't believe you're deserving of the success you're going to make from that deal. All right? There are a lot of limiting beliefs. Thirdly, fear of rejection. A lot of people fear to be rejected. I can guarantee you right now that billions of people all over the world fear to pick up that phone to call to be told no. They fear the word no. And that is why most guys can't even get the girl of their dreams, because they fear to get rejected. Have you seen I don't mean to use this word, but have you seen a not so good looking guy with a 10 out of 10 girl?
Of course, I have.
Okay. Right there is what I call persistence. Like you set your target and you're not going to lower your target no matter what. Now, fear of rejection makes you lower your target. You started when you wanted the 10 out of 10 girl. Now, because you feel you may not get a chance, now you settle for 8. Before you know, you're at 6. Before you know, you're below 6, and you end up in a strip joint. All right? So, fear
nice
of rejection. So that's one of the, those are a few of the things that people actually don't become great salesmen.
Yeah. So what's the basic sales process in any business, you know? Because I know there are processes in which sales are actually made, but most people actually don't know that there's actually a process to sales.
Okay, so of course, most people are actually doing sales every day, but they don't understand there's a process. And I always tell people there is no secret to success. There are systems to success. And once you don't have a structure around your business, you're not going anywhere, right? So first of all, the first step is you need to find the prospect. Stop getting leads. That's what gets most people out of the game. They don't even know how to collect leads. Personally, I didn't know how to collect leads. It took me a while to know how to collect leads. Then you may get to a point where you know how to get leads, but you don't even know how to book them for an appointment. So the first step is you need to find the prospects. You need to find the potential customer. Prospect means potential customer, right? Yeah. You need to find the potential customer, the potential client that is getting leads. Number 2, you need to invite them for a meeting or schedule a meeting with them or book an appointment. Okay? Yeah. And this is not where we teach you all these things. This is just me giving you the basics. We shall have something else for that. Now, after booking an appointment, you go to presentation. That is when you present your idea, whatever idea it is that you have. Okay? Then we have closing and we have follow-up. So you can maybe note them down for them, find prospects, invite or book for an appointment, presentation, closing, follow-up. Those are some of the basic sales processes.
Yeah. So my other question would be, out of that sales process, which are the most important? What's the most important part in the sales process? Is it getting
what
the
I
deal?
would say? What I would say, I don't. No, I don't think that there is an important part. What I would say is that they are all equally important. You can't eliminate one. Okay, it's like saying which wheel on this car is not important. The car is not going to.
Guys, it's still connecting. Give him a few, and just drop me where you're actually connecting from. Yeah, drop me as Jeremy reconnects here real quickly. Connecting from. So don't worry. I'm actually posting it here in the comments. This is the sales process. Let's see if he's actually back. Awesome.
Hello, guys. Yes. We apologize. I don't know what's wrong with the network. But I saw somebody was actually asking to repeat the sales process. I believe Mr. Allan has actually put it down there. First of all, you need to find prospect. And then you need to book an appointment, which is invite them for a meetup. Then you need to do the presentation. You need to do the close. And you need to do the follow-up. Right? Yeah. So we stopped where when Mr. Allan was actually asking me the most important part of the sales process. Okay, I was telling him I think all steps are equally important, though most people have an issue with closing and following up. That's where most people have the issue of closing and following up.
Okay, so give me a minute. So when you talk about closing,
yeah,
what do people really have an issue with in closing?
Okay, when we talk about closing, first of all, most people don't begin with the end in mind. Whoever is watching, I would advise, highly advise, take notes. Take notes. Make sure that you're making some notes, okay? This is just a brief, but it is very, very educative. Then after this, we shall be talking about a few things later, but make notes. It's very important. Why do most people have issues with closing? First of all, they don't begin with the end in mind. Okay, you need to know what are you trying to achieve. If I can see the end picture, then I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. All right, I want to know how does Zanzibar look like before I fly to Zanzibar. Okay, sometimes I'm going to search about the photos. That's the end, that's the destination. So they don't begin with the end in mind. What do you want to achieve from this phone call? Now, second thing about it, they are not clear about the mission or the purpose. And most people make the phone call not understanding the mission and the purpose. Never get onto a phone call when you don't understand the mission and the purpose, right? Then third of all, people are closing scripts. They listen to so many people, they get scripts and they start closing using scripts. You need to understand that people are different and people have different personality types, different traits, and people respond to different things differently, right? So if somebody wants to close people off scripts, in most cases, you're not going to get what you want. Then most people don't know how to ask for the sale, and they don't even ask for the sale. So you're done presenting to me your idea about your opportunity, about your product, about your service, but you're in front of me, you're not even asking me for the sale. So you're more so like asking me, okay. You're expecting the prospect literally to talk to you and tell you what they're thinking. As a great salesperson, you need to initiate the request. You need to ask for the sale. Ask for the sale. What part of this deal did you like the most? You're asking for the sale. Okay. What part of this deal don't you like? What part of this deal is stopping us from getting into business today? Okay. Those are some of the questions that people are not asking. Okay. Lastly, people don't know how to handle objections. And I believe yesterday, can you hear me?
Jeremy, I can hear you. I can hear you. Before we even jump into objections, what is an objection?
Okay, an objection, first of all, is I would say an objection is the reason why the customer or the prospect or the client will not buy from you.
Okay.
Okay. So examples of objections.
Yeah.
Okay, some of the examples of objections. The biggest example is the price. The product or the service is too expensive. Okay, I don't have money. Second one is I don't have the time, or I'm too busy. Third is I need to do some research. I need to go home and think about it. Fourth is I need to ask my spouse, or I need to talk to my family. I need to talk to my friend about it. Okay, then the list goes on and on, but there are objections that don't change. The biggest is I don't have money. People are always going to come up with that. People are always going to come up with the time issue. People are going to tell you they have never done it. They don't know how to do it. People are going to tell you that they need some time to think about it and research about it. People are going to tell you that they need to talk to their spouse to get their, consent about it. All right. But the three variables of closing, okay, people need these things. The deal is always going to go three ways. In any deal, the deal is always going to go three ways. First of all, it is going to be more than expected. It is going to be as expected, or it is going to be less than expected. That's how the deal is always going to go. It's going to go three ways. So if you know the deal is always going to go three ways, whatever thing the prospect is going to tell you is going to be more than expected, as expected, or less than expected. So if I make the phone call with the mindset of these three variables in my mind, either way, I know they are going to be in those three. So why would I be afraid to make the phone call or to actually ask for the close? So that is it about closing.
Okay, so you also talked about the issue of some people have an issue with follow-up, yeah? And I would definitely like to know what's with that, and also how many times should I follow up with the prospect before I let them go?
Okay, so with follow-up, the biggest issue is fear of rejection. Okay, people fear rejection. Okay, they fear what is the customer going to say, so they fear to follow up. And what I would say is how somebody can handle a little bit with that is, personally, what I do, I make sure that I always book another session with them before I get off the phone. So meaning I'm not calling them randomly. You fear because you're just calling them randomly, right? So you need to book another appointment. Before I get off the phone, I'm going to tell them, I will be calling you by Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is that time okay by you, so that I can follow up with this? And if they give me the permission, then I'm going to keep my word and call them at the time that we both agreed. And then it could go different. Though, and other people fear putting the prospect under pressure. They feel like, oh, I'm putting the prospect under pressure. Let's talk a little bit about this pressure thing. If I'm a parent and my child is playing in the road, am I going to be like, darling, please come out of the road? Or am I going to be like, baby, you're in the road, it's very dangerous. I'm going to pressure my child to get out of the road. So why is pressure such a bad thing? It is okay to pressure the prospect if you're pressuring them to do the right thing. Okay, if you're genuinely coming to help them and you know it's the right thing, what's wrong with that? If you're my friend and I'm coming to you about something that could change your future, you have been calling me to borrow money. You've been calling me, telling me about your financial situation, about your problems. I'm coming with you, to you with something I think could change your life. What's wrong if I put some little pressure on you? Pressure either creates diamonds or other people become a lump of coal under pressure. So you need to know how to apply the pressure and when to apply the pressure. So most people fear putting the prospect under pressure. Thirdly, most people assume the prospect will call them back. Now, that's the funny part. They are assuming that, oh, I presented to him, he told me, let me think about it, he will call me back. The prospect is never going to call you back. You have to follow up because you understand the urgency, you understand the value of the product. They don't see the value yet. That's the reason you've not closed the deal yet, because if they saw the value, by now you'd have closed the deal. So in sales, there's always a certainty level, okay? You start below the certainty level, and every single time you're following up, you're building their certainty. They are becoming more confident and comfortable with you and with your product. And at times it takes about 7 follow-ups to actually make a sale. Average. Takes about 7 follow-ups to make a sale. Though you ask the question is, how many times are you supposed to follow up? I'll tell you, for me in my position, I follow you up until you personally ask me to stop. So if you have not asked me to stop following you up, what is wrong? And some people, people in my company, they tell me, sir, we hit the list too much. What is the list there for? That is what we are supposed to do with the list. All right?
Yeah.
Then, if you're serious about getting rich and actually taking sales very serious, you follow up until they block you. But blocking you doesn't mean that you spam them. Please, you don't spam them. You come with value. You need to know when to come. You can't come every day. Every day, that's a little too much on stalking. That's bordering on stalking. You're stalking them too much, right? So if I'm following you once a week for 3 years, that is very comfortable. I just need to remind you every week, hey, I'm still available. They may not be ready to buy right now, but maybe 2 years from now, when they are ready, and now they suddenly have the money, since I've been following them up for 2 years, the moment they get the money or the moment they are ready, they're going to remember, oh, Jim has actually been with me for 2 years. They already know me. So whenever they are ready to pull the trigger, I've consistently been in front of them. So first of all, I'm already out of obscurity because they know me.
Yeah.
Okay. The other biggest problem of most people is actually they don't remember you when they choose and they are ready to make the sale. They are ready to pull the trigger, right? So they need to remember you. So for me, I follow you until you block me. You block me or you ask me, unsubscribe me from your email list, or you tell me, please stop it. It's too much. I'm not interested. But until they tell me personally that they are not interested, let's go.
Yeah.
If you're not going to buy a pen from me, you buy a book from me. You're not going to buy a book from me, then I'll sell you a hotel room. You're not going to take the hotel room, then we shall take you to the island. Something is always going to come up.
I see how you close me to stay here. Okay. So there's something we were discussing about yesterday, where you talked about money follows attention. Tell me more about that.
Money follows attention is the biggest thing I actually learned about 2 years ago. Okay. First of all, we are in an era whereby it's not about being the most liked. It's not about being the most famous. Okay. It's simply about people knowing you. I don't care if you like me or hate me. Do you know me? Okay. Many of us don't like Kim Kardashian. You don't like the Kardashians. You hate them. But they have mastered the game of money follows attention. The question is, what is the product? It is booty. It is the product. There's no product there. But they have mastered the game because they understand that whether you like me or you hate me, the only thing about that statement is they want you to remember their names. Money follows attention. Okay? If people don't know you, they will not flow you. If people don't know you, you're not going to have anybody's money. Okay? Look at Sheila Gashumba in our country, a young girl. Okay? Whether you like her or hate her, she's on billboards. So she just started by vlogging her lifestyle to get people's attention. And the moment she got people's attention, Orange went to her and they said, we want you to be our brand ambassador to represent the millennials in this country. Why? Because everybody knows her. The question is, does everybody like her? No. Does everybody care about her? No. But everybody knows her. So money follows attention. How much attention can your business get? How much attention can your brand get?
Yeah. That's actually very, very important. So I just wanted to know, because you talked about timing, and I believe every good salesperson needs to know, they understand timing, you know, they understand that most times a client is not ready to buy now, but they'll actually be able to buy some other time later on. So I wanted to ask you, what's the difference between a good and a bad salesperson to you?
Okay. The number one thing about a good salesperson is intentions. What are intentions? Okay, when I was a child, and I believe when most of us were children, all right, we used to actually, let's say, maybe I fight with my sibling. After fighting with my sibling runs to my parents and says, this one has beaten me and I want them to say sorry. So I say sorry, but I'm saying sorry with this, sorry. You know, that sarcasm kind of sorry.
Yeah.
And she's at that age, she's going to say, no, they did not say it genuinely. Because even as a child, you can feel something is not authentic. It is not genuine. So people are going through you when you're not genuine and authentic. So intentions are in two ways. The first intention is you're either coming to them with the mindset of take my hand or give me your hand. Take my hand or give me your hand. These things mean the same thing. Okay, take my hand is more of I am putting my hand out there for you, okay, and I want you to take my hand so that I can be of help to you. Then give me your hand means I am staying here and the client doesn't know you, but you want them to come over to you. And the moment they feel that intention, they put a block, they put a bridge because they feel this one is trying to get the money from me. So every time I'm talking to my clients, I'm trying to make them as comfortable as possible. Okay? So I am ready to not get what I want right now, knowing that in the long term, I'm going to get what I want. That's another quality of good salespeople. Bad salespeople want the deal now. If it is $200, they want $200 now. They're not thinking of tomorrow. So they are just transactional salespeople, not relationship salespeople. When you're a transactional salesperson, you just care about making the sale. And the moment you're done with the sale, you don't care about the client. You don't check on the client. I check on the client. Let me give you an example now. With one of the apartments I'm managing, I checked on the client. The client was supposed to come. I think she was preparing a surprise birthday for her boyfriend. Then they had a fight. And she told me we can no longer come. I didn't stop talking to her. I said, oh, I pray that, you know, all things get well and blah, blah, blah. Then the next day I checked on her genuinely and I said, how is it? Have you guys fixed everything? Is everything okay? Okay. And she's like, no, Jim, things have worsened, blah, blah, something like that. Then today, she actually, before this call, she called me and told me, thank you for praying for me and checking on me. It motivated me to actually work things out with my boyfriend. I want to send a deposit on your phone right now because I am a relationship salesman. So she thought that I cared more about her than I cared about the sale. People need to feel that. Okay. Then the other thing is, stop seeing your prospects with a dollar sign. Most people, the moment they see a prospect, they're like, damn, that's my Lamborghini right there. Damn, that's my Range Rover right there. Damn, that's rent right there. Yeah? Some guys are excited. I need to pay rent. I need to pay rent. This guy is going to pay my rent. No, nobody wants to pay your rent. Yeah? Nobody pay your rent. Nobody wants to pay for your flashy lifestyle. Okay? Yeah. But if you go with the mindset of I'm going to help them get what they want, okay? You help them get what they want. You don't have to worry. Never worry about what you need. Never worry about what you need. You help them get what they want. The universe is automatically going to get you what you need. So don't stop even worrying about, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. The secret of this universe is simple. You give enough people what they want. You help enough people get what they want. The universe is going to flow back abundance to you. A candle loses nothing by lighting other candles.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So definitely, I also believe, you know, leading with value, definitely 80% value, 20% offer is definitely something that I've actually seen that we both do, me and you. So definitely, you know, most people, the only thing they have is offer, you know, and most people actually had to be sold, but they love to actually buy, you know. I mean, you look at platforms like Amazon and all these other things, they've actually mastered the art, and even Jumia, they've mastered the art of actually getting people to buy from them. So literally every single day, they've even automated the sales process. And before I even jump into automation and things like that, I just wanted to ask you, yeah? So to you, what are the qualities of a good salesperson?
I'd actually made some notes, but right now I'll start with off script. The first quality of a great salesperson, remember people's names.
True, very true.
I think me and you hang out most of the time. You notice whether I go to the petrol station, you know that people even forget that they give them tags.
Yeah.
They give them petrol station, the guy has his name. He has forgotten he has his name on his, so I'm like, hey, Brian. I'm like, Brian, how are you? Are you okay? The moment people hear the sound of their names, it does something to them because they feel this guy is personally interested to know about me as an individual.
Yeah.
So the first thing about great salesmen, they remember people's names. A salesman that doesn't remember your name, that guy is never going to sell me anything. First of all, you didn't take the initiative to even know my name. You're trying to sell me your product. Please, get out of here. Yeah. That's the first one. The second one is you need to be enthusiastic. You need to have energy. You need to be excited. I'm always excited. You can feel, I don't need a microphone for this because it will be a different situation with the mic. I'm excited. You need to be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm closes more sales than anything else. By the time the customer realizes, they're like, oh, did I just sign the deal? Because you're too excited. You're too fired up. You're too fired up. So enthusiasm. The third is you need to begin with the end in mind. You need to see the picture. Why am I making this phone call? What do I want to achieve? Then I need to set my mind mentally with the end in mind before I get onto the phone call or before I get in front of the prospect. Then appearance. Okay, some people, they go there, they have not combed their hair, they have not brushed their teeth. In sales, you're talking with the person face to face. So if you have a bad breath, your bad breath is going to put them off before anything else. You need to make sure you're smelling good. You need to make sure you're looking good. You need to invest in your appearance. Appearance is everything. Then I can't sell you something that can change your life, because if I'm selling you something that can change your life, it means I'm in a position of being able to actually do that for you. All right? So if I'm selling you that this will actually give you value, you need to look at me and see, from my appearance, do I look like the guy that can actually bring that value to you, bring that value to the marketplace? All right? So the other one is you need to keep your word. If you tell them I'm going to call you by 10 a.m., don't call them at 4 p.m. the next day. Call them at 10 a.m. Let them be the ones to sabotage that call, not pick up the call, maybe pick up and tell you I'm busy, but let it not be you not to call on time. So you say, I'm going to show up at this time, show up at this time. You say, I'm going to send you an email, send the email. You say, I'm going to send you a free product trial, send them that. Keep your word. Keep your word. There's nothing more important than being a man of your word. People remember, may forget other things, but they'll remember one thing. This guy is not that good at what he does, but one thing about him, he knows how to keep his word. Okay? Then, a good salesman always has to have his tools ready. You go to the prospect, then you start, oh, I had my product here. I think I forgot it in the car. Now, at that time, you want to run to the car. That puts people off. You need to come before the meeting, the appointment, when you have your tools ready. Whatever it is that you need, it needs to be ready. Then a great salesman has 100% belief in their product. Okay? You know, that's why at times I train my staff on how to sell rooms, on how to sell the place, but no one can sell it like me. Okay? You need to have 100% belief in your product. You may believe in yourself, and believing in yourself will take you far, but if you don't believe in your product, don't expect the customer to believe in a product that you don't believe in. And we didn't say 90% belief, 100% belief. When you believe in your product, even the customer will feel sold. Your customer will be sold on the product the moment you start talking about it, because they feel, if I don't take this product, something is not going to be right. All right? Then, great salespeople always find creative ways to keep in touch with every single person they meet, because they understand that strangers have the money I need. Your family and friends are not the ones that are going to make you rich. It is strangers that are going to make you rich. So every person you meet, don't just keep in touch with them for the sake of, in some point, you're going to make a sale to them. Create relationships, because it is only through relationships that you're actually going to get rich and wealthy. So strangers always find a creative way of how to keep in touch with everyone they meet. Okay? Then, not lastly, but great salespeople have a great sense of urgency. Okay? I don't believe in tomorrow. Don't tell me about tomorrow. If I want to send you money today, do you want me to send you today or tomorrow? Every single person watching this would want me to send them money today. So, every great salesperson understands urgency. They don't make the process long. They are always trying to compress the process, because the client doesn't understand the urgency. So it is you to communicate urgency while you're talking. They need to feel the urgency of getting it done today. And a great salesman is one that will tell you, I am giving you this offer, but this offer is valid for the next 48 hours. You've created a sense of urgency for the customer to pull the trigger. All right? So then I'll tell you, a great salesperson knows how to suggest and answer objections before their prospect brings them up. Some people are waiting for the objections. You already know the objections. Why are you waiting for the customer to come up with the objections, the prospect to come up with the objection? You know they are going, I can read you and I know that, probably right now he's going to talk about time, or he's going to talk about money, he's going to talk about this. So if he's taking his time, I auto-suggest to him the possible objections, and then I help him answer the objection before he brings them up, because he's already thinking, but I don't know how to do this. What if I don't have the money? Will this guy allow me to jump on this opportunity? So I help him take that out of the way. That is you raising their certainty level. Then lastly, they are good time managers. Great salespeople are good time managers. They keep time. So I think we have some questions about the sales process. You can type your question and we can go through it.
All right, there's a question here that says, growing up in this age, how do you deal with peer influence at the same time thinking independently? Did you have to deal with being a normal teen but also a creative to be an entrepreneur? Jeremy?
Okay, I had the question. Let's first break it down a little bit. It was a little long. Okay, how do you deal with peer influence?
Yeah, okay, basically what he's asking is that did you have to actually deal with having two identities between you being an entrepreneur and you being an ordinary teen? Like it's that question of, you know, going back and forth, back and forth.
You know the thing that me and you always talk about? Keep inside things inside and outside things outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. For starters, okay, you need to keep inside things inside and outside things outside. Okay. So how do you can't avoid peer influence? Okay, peer influence is gonna be there. What's going to happen is peer influence, you